Hi, welcome back to my channel Box Office Poison. My name's Moxie McMurder, and today on Problematic Faves we're going to talk about Cherry Falls.
Just a warning, there will be spoilers and discussion of sexual assault. When it comes to problematic horror films, of which there are plenty to choose from, Cherry Falls would definitely make the list. While not the worst offender, what Cherry Falls does in the final sequence is a dick move by anybody's standards, and for some reason it's rarely discussed. Directed by Jeffrey Wright, writer and director of 1992's Australian drama Romper Stomper, and released in 2000, Cherry Falls is very much in the vein of 90s teen horror. The script, written by Ken Selden, was intended to be a satire, but Jeffrey Wright felt it should be more serious and threatening, so many of the comedic elements were removed. This is probably why the film's tone is a little inconsistent and lacks the real bite of satire. The 30-day shoot and going over budget caused problems on the set, and cuts issued by the MPAA meant that Cherry Falls didn't actually receive a theatre release in the United States. It was shown in cinemas in the UK and Europe, and it was heavily edited and shown on US television, which makes Cherry Falls the most expensive television film ever made, with a production budget of $14 million. In the wake of the 1999 Columbine shootings, movies, music, and video games came under intense scrutiny, so there was a censorship push, and it's been said that this is one of the main reasons why the MPAA censorship board demanded more and more cuts. So let's take a look at our final girl and her world. Brittany Murphy plays Jodie Markin, the somewhat alternative daughter of the local sheriff, played by Michael Biehn. Casting someone like Brittany Murphy, who is able to portray vulnerability and strength at the same time, is a great choice. She's always watchable, and whenever I watch this film, or any film that she was in, I'm reminded of how sad it is that her life ended so early. But back to the film. Some teens have been murdered, the cops are stumped, and panic grips the town. When they discover that the killer is targeting virgins, boys and girls, the teens take it upon themselves to host a Pop Your Cherry party in hopes of escaping the killer. But of course, it's more of a red rag to a bull. Jodie is a potential victim, as she is yet to sleep with her boyfriend, so it's not just her life on the line, but her virginity too. In Cherry Falls, Jodie is tough. She fights back, and we're even shown her father teaching her some self-defense techniques, which is great. But the father-daughter relationship in this film is weird, to say the least. I have to assume it's intended as a red herring, but it still presents itself as just a creepy, incestuous dad. On the face of it, a story about a serial killer targeting virgins is pretty weak. But it is a scenario that could have really looked at the dynamics in teen relationships, the stigma surrounding sexual exploration, LGBTQ plus relationships, domestic abuse, and so on. Cherry Falls is a decent teen slasher that tries hard to be the satire it wants to be, but it's uneven. It also lacks scares. There's very little tension, especially if you compare it to some of the teen horrors of years previous, like Scream. Despite this, Cherry Falls is in its own way very watchable. It's almost slasher light. But let's look at what I feel is the most problematic and least discussed part of the film, the ending. Trigger warning again for sexual assault. At the time, Cherry Falls was somewhat celebrated for its appropriate portrayal of sexually active teens and girls' sexual agency. But to be honest, it's the end of the film that should have gone under the microscope. After we discover the identity of who they think is killing the local teens, we are told Laura Lee Sherman's story. Jodie's mother tells the story of a girl from her high school, a girl that was raped by a group of boys, respectable boys. No one believed Laura Lee. Jodie's mother reveals that Jodie's father, the sheriff, was one of the boys accused by Laura Lee. Once the killer is revealed as Jodie's teacher and the son of Laura Lee, we see flashbacks of the rape. We find out that she became a recluse who abused the son she carried from the rape, the son who resembled his father, the sheriff. Despite the horrifying knowledge that her father was involved in a gang rape, Jodie and her mother decide to keep the real story hidden, presumably to keep her father's reputation clean. In doing so, Laura Lee Sherman will continue to be known as a loner that nobody cared for and who lied about being assaulted. The ending is essentially a form of victim blaming. While not necessarily condoning her father's actions, she and her mother actively cover it up and do nothing to change the local narrative that Laura Lee was drunk and lied about the assault. And that's not okay. I like Cherry Falls. It may have come on the heels of better and brighter teen slashers, but it has its own unique energy and feel. I think because the victims, aside from best friend Timmy, are not part of Jodie's friendship group, there's not much tension. And because the tone is a little uneven, it just doesn't quite work, but I still enjoy it. Jay Moore gives a standout performance as Mr. Marliston, Jodie's teacher, the murderer, and potentially Jodie's half-brother. He's able to play mild-mannered, then intense, then totally unhinged, and he can really sell the comedic moments. Considering all the horror remakes that have been made, I'm surprised Cherry Falls hasn't had a remake. And I think it would be a great project for a woman director and a woman writer to see what changes they would make and see if Laura Lee Sherman would finally see some justice.
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to hit the... Okay.
Or maybe don't forget to do the thing.
Don't forget to do the thing. Oh, that's better! Don't forget to do the thing. Okay. Can I not just say do the thing? Can I not just say to the people, the good people at home, can you not just do the thing? Do I have to do the spiel every time that I get wrong and say subscribe and bribe and all kinds of bullshit? Like, can I not just say, do the thing? Do the thing!
If you like the
video,
you know, do the thing.
you know, do the thing. Do the honourable thing. Do the right thing.
The chivalrous.
The chivalrous thing. The feminist thing. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and do all the other things that you can do on YouTube, like the thing and then hit the bell that's next to the subscribe thing. You can do that. That's a thing that you can do.
That was good. That was a good option.
Thanks.